Welcome to the University of Pittsburgh White Coat Ceremony. Please find your seats and turn your attention to the stage to enjoy a performance from the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. Please join us in welcoming Cooper Blakenberg, Gracie Jean Joyner, and Alexandria Troyanos, performing selections from Napoli.
Before it was science, it was steel, Pittsburgh's call to fame. But over time, the city's economy evolved. The industries that once flourished here gave way to new ones, attracting a new generation of talent to Pittsburgh, creating a renaissance that would position Pittsburgh as a global hub for technology, education, and groundbreaking healthcare.
In moving from meadows to medicine, Pittsburgh reinvented itself as a powerhouse for innovation, a place where bright minds gather to spark new ideas and new breakthroughs.
Pittsburgh was founded and thrives today through the common respect, civility, and cooperation of its leaders. The qualities that built this city are epitomized every day at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine.
That's what makes this school unique. Different people with diverging ideas coming together to achieve one common goal: to serve others.
As important as innovation is compassion and finding common grounds with others that help us build our own bridges to success.
You now belong to a diverse body of medical students, leaders in the making, who will define excellence today and far into the future.
And we're so glad you're here. You have been hand-selected from a pool of thousands of applicants, and now you will join a cohort of classmates and colleagues who have diverse interests, creative talents, and an inclination for innovative thinking. In the coming years, you'll be challenged to think creatively in order to make a difficult diagnosis, to design an experiment, or think about healthcare innovations that will answer important questions in biomedicine. That's what you're here to discover, and we can't wait to get you started on this journey.
Over the next 4 years, you'll receive the absolute best clinical training, research opportunities, and educational experiences. You will leave fully equipped with the tools necessary to meet the challenges of practicing medicine in the 21st century.
The clinicians and scientists you teach are also the ones writing the textbooks and publishing groundbreaking papers. It's a wonderful, supportive community to be a part of, in a place that feels like a small town and a big city at the same time. Pitt Med is a leader in academics, clinical care, and research. As students, we have so many opportunities for collaboration across the university, and the faculty is truly invested in our success.
At Pitt Med, we make sure you have everything you need to successfully navigate medical school. We will connect you with faculty advisors, mentors, study groups, counseling, tutors, funding for projects and research, social activities, and much more. The possibilities for your future are endless. We'll help you explore every opportunity until you find the perfect fit and a perfect match.
In addition to a world-class faculty committed to mentoring, you'll find a network of support not just in Pittsburgh, but globally through an elite group of medical alumni.
Our alumni community is actively involved in our programs, continuously giving back and supporting current students. We, as part of the Medical Alumni Association, are here to help encourage successes and strengthen ties to Pitt Med students. Hail to Pitt!
Pitt is a community dedicated to teaching, research, and public service, with a mission of leveraging knowledge for society's gain. It's a place where our community members accomplish great things every day, and I can't wait to watch you succeed at Pitt and go on to make a powerful and positive difference in this world.
Developing the polio vaccine, laying the groundwork to the modern-day ICU, revolutionizing breast cancer treatment, conducting research that led to the first MRI, leading the way in organ transplantation. It all happened right here, but that's just the beginning. The future is now in your hands.
Welcome to the School of Medicine.
We're happy to have you here with us in Pittsburgh, and we're very excited to see what you're going to do next.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our Masters of Ceremonies, Dr. Alda Maria Gonzaga, Associate Dean for Student Affairs at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine.
Welcome, Pitt Med Class of 2026. As we begin, please join me in acknowledging that this ceremony is taking place on the ancestral lands of the Adena, the Hopewell, the Monongahela, and the Osage, who are followed by the Shawnee, the Mingo, the Lenape, and others. Generation upon generation, past, present, and future, of Indigenous people here and all over the world have served as respectful stewards of the earth and its resources. We stand with the community members of those nations and will fight injustice in all its forms. My name is Dr. Alda Maria Gonzaga, and I am the Associate Dean for Student Affairs, a professor of medicine and pediatrics, and a proud Pitt Med Class of 2000 alumni. On behalf of all the deans of the School of Medicine, I'd like to welcome you, Class of 2026, to your white coat ceremony. And I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to your family and friends, both in attendance and supporting you remotely, who will be your ardent supporters throughout your medical school career. The vision for this event was developed by the late Dr. Freddie Fu and his wife, Hilda Pang Fu, in order to properly welcome you to Pittsburgh while giving you a taste of all the city has to offer. In addition to being a proud Pitt Med alum, Dr. Fu was a member of the Pitt Med faculty for over 3 decades. He was the head team physician for the University Department of Athletics. He founded the UPMC Sports Medicine program. And at the time of his death, he was the chair of the UPMC Department of Orthopedic Surgery, holding the title of the David Silver Professor. In addition to being a proud benefactor of the School of Medicine, he was proud to work with the larger university as an alumni and faculty member. For his generosity in time, money, and service, he was named a Distinguished Service Professor, the 8th such professor in the University of Pittsburgh's history. Please join me in acknowledging his contributions with a round of applause. Students, as you may have gathered from the small group names during the class oath development process, we are very proud of our bridges here in the city of Pittsburgh. We have 446 bridges in our fair city. That's more than even in the city of Venice, Italy. And bridges are an apt metaphor for the journey you are embarking upon. You're leaving life as you've known it and will cross a bridge into the honorable life and profession of a physician. The entire Pitt Med community is committed to helping you cross that bridge and begin your careers. Our world-renowned faculty will teach you both in the classroom and in the clinic, and they will mentor you in your scholarly work and in your career choice. And you will reap the benefits of Pittsburgh's history of innovation through Pitt's partnerships across the city, including those with UPMC and CMU. The weekend of my white coat ceremony, I walked across the Smithfield Bridge between downtown and Station Square. I hope each of you takes some time to walk around Pittsburgh over the coming weeks. And if you do walk across one of our bridges, you'll notice that the bridges have grades. You start walking up the bridge to its peak and then walk back down. In the next few weeks, you'll notice that the beginning of medical school is quite similar to that grade at the beginning of a bridge. You're about to start 2 of the fastest paced years of learning you'll ever experience, and you will work hard to walk up that bridge. I want you to hold on to the image of the entire Pitt Med community, including all the faculty, staff, and alumni, lined up along the sides of those bridges, cheering you on, one at a time. We have no doubt that you will achieve great things. You are figuratively and probably literally in the best shape of your life. Each of you is bright and academically accomplished, but more importantly, each of you has the attributes that will foster your success. To name some examples, your journey to this point in your life, the volunteer and advocacy work you've been involved in, the previous careers or jobs you've had, the sports you've played, and the parts of the world you've visited. All those experiences and accomplishments outside of school are the foundation of your success. They are the pillars of each of your unique bridges. And it is because of those pillars that you've been selected to be a part of this community. Because we see the potential in each of you to become exemplars in medicine as healers, advocates, innovators, and leaders. Family, friends, esteemed colleagues, please join me in showing the class of 2026 our support through a round of applause. It is now my great honor to introduce Dr. Anantha Shekhar, the Senior Vice Chancellor for the Health Sciences, the John and Gertrude Peterson Dean for the School of Medicine, and a Professor of Psychiatry at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. A nationally recognized educator, researcher, and entrepreneur, he leads all 6 health sciences schools, frontrunners in their respective fields. Dr. Shekhar shapes the careers of more than 6,000 faculty and staff and the academic success of about 5,000 students annually. He works closely with UPMC to ensure that healthcare delivery, biomedical research, and education continue to flourish. Dr. Shekhar earned his medical degree at St. John's Medical College and a PhD in neuroscience at Indiana University. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Shekhar.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see you all here. And I'm really delighted to welcome the class of 2026 to the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. I'm also happy to welcome all of those family members and others who are watching this live stream. So all of you are great guests today for us, and we are very happy to host you and welcome your family member to Pitt School of Medicine. I see a lot of pride there in that class sitting there, so I'm sure you're all thrilled to have worked so hard and to finally attain admission and start your medical career. So I want everyone to give this proud bunch a big hand. Thank you, and welcome. Now, the pride is not just in this section of the building. There's pride all around here, because I'm sure every one of you, family, friends, parents, spouses, are very proud of the class of 2026 accomplishments, to have made it and to have joined, and all their accomplishments academically and otherwise that qualified them to be admitted to Pitt Med. So I want you to give a big hand to all your proud supporters. Thank you. I want to begin by recognizing that this milestone event, the White Coat Ceremony, for the last 4 years, as mentioned by Dr. Gonzaga, has been sponsored and hosted by our Dr. Freddie Fu, our late Dr. Freddie Fu, and his wife, a Pitt alumna, Hilda Pan Fu, who you saw in the video, and their family. Dr. Fu, as you also heard, was the chair, a long-standing chair of our orthopedics department, and was sadly taken away by an untreatable disease from all of us last year. So this would be the first white coat ceremony that I think Freddie hasn't attended in decades. But we are going to celebrate that with him present in this building everywhere with us. I also want to thank Hilda, who has continued this, his wife, Hilda Fu, has continued this tradition and has now not only supported it, but is watching live stream. So wherever you are, Hilda, we are with you. Today is also a great starting point for all of you. And I want to welcome all of you to the PittMed family. Your path, if you're a student, to become a doctor and an alumni of our medical school. If you're a family member, to become part of the PittMed family, that you're going to be connected with us for the rest of your lives through our newsletters, through our connections with you, as well as many things that I hope you'll be proud of that are accomplished by our students and our medical faculty. Just a brief note about the white coat ceremony and what the white coat means to us here at PittMed. Through history, it's been really about a century of tradition that physicians have worn white coats as a symbol of their profession, as a symbol of their commitment to patient care, as a symbol of their commitment to just society. In fact, in the old days, they used to wear black coats because it was pretty messy practicing medicine. Well, surgeons were essentially in the same guild as butchers. So we would wear black coats then, but that's, over a century ago. Since then, especially since aseptic techniques and variety of positive things have happened in medicine, we now wear white coats. And you're all going to get your white coats as students, and your white coats will be a little shorter than some of the ones that you see our deans and our faculty wearing. Just only means that you're still in the protective stage of getting into the medical profession. For the next 4 years, you will wear this coat as a symbol, not only of what you are preparing to become, but also what the profession expects from you and what the society expects from you. So think of this as your superhero costume. So what that means that you wear this, you are immediately sending out a message. The message is that I'm trying to be someone special, and I'm contributing to our society in a special way. I'm going to care for people, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to be a healer, as we say. But like superheroes, the costume also provides you a lot of protection, which means that you are going to be privileged to access personal information about people. People are going to come and share their troubles with you, want you to solve their problems, whether it's a disease or whether it's a situation that needs intervention. So they're going to trust you like we trust our superheroes to do the right thing. So in some ways, this symbolizes both the unique privilege and power that you have, but also the unique responsibility that comes with that power. Kind of like Spider-Man, that's that same phrase. The other thing that it also symbolizes is that you're now part of our family. We're all here to support you. when you wear that coat, you become part of us. Your problems are our problems. Your challenges are our challenges. We are here to support you, to make you grow into a full-fledged physician and a healer, and anything that affects that in your career, in your life, we are here to listen and help. So you become part of this big PitMed family, and we love you from today on as a family member. And that's what also comes with this promise of the white coat. So your next 4 years are going to be quite challenging. You're going to have to learn and master a lot of material. In addition, you're going to master a lot of skills, dissecting the human body, understanding the human physiology, learning about human diseases, and then learning about treatments of those diseases and curative procedures, surgical interventions. There are many things that you're going to be exposed to and will begin to learn. It takes decades for people to become experts in all of those, but your journey starts today. And it is a challenging journey, which also means that you have to not just pay attention to the material that you have to master, but to the care of your own selves while you're trying to master these. It can be sometimes overwhelming. It can demand long hours, physical exhaustion, mental saturation. All of those are things that you have to learn to care for yourself and survive. So that's really part of what we're all here to help you do as well. So as we mentioned here earlier, we want all of you to become healers. That is, you treat the patients and your work as a holistic approach, not just a prescription or a surgical procedure. We want you to be both advocates for your patients and their care, as well as activists if you see injustice and wrong things being done. We want you to be innovators, where you change what is not working today, where you create new things where there are unmet needs. We also want you to be interprofessional experts, where you work with nurses and dentists and pharmacists and work in a team to take care of the whole patient. And then finally, everyone who graduates from PitMed, we want them to be leaders. Leaders in your community, leaders in your profession, leaders that care for their family and friends. So these are the 4 key elements, H-A-I-L, that we want you to symbolize. Hail to Pitt. Welcome. Thank you. So it's my pleasure now to welcome our keynote speaker, who's an extraordinary person and has long ties with PitMed and UPMC. It's Dr. West. Dr. West is a board-certified orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon with over 20 years of clinical experience. She serves as the president of the musculoskeletal service line at Innova Health System, a large health system in Virginia and Washington, D.C. area. And she's also the chair of Innova Sports Medicine. She directs clinical, strategic, and administrative and academic affairs of the world-class organization and a comprehensive sports medicine program. She currently serves as a lead physician for the Washington Nationals, a Major League Baseball team. She has previously served as a head team physician for the Washington football team, as well as team physicians for the Pittsburgh Steelers while she was here, and the University of Pittsburgh Athletics Department, as well as CMU Athletics. She is an associate professor of orthopedic surgery at Georgetown University Medical Center and an adjunct associate professor for Uniformed Services University on Health Sciences. She served on many national boards, including NFL and MLB Physician Societies, American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, Arthroscopy Association of North America, and American Orthopedic Society for Sports Medicine. She's a native of Southern California, was a faculty member here at Pitt Met, and currently lives in Northern Virginia with her husband, 2 daughters, and 2 dogs, I believe. She's an outdoor enthusiast and enjoys competitive triathlons. So she's an extraordinary person, and I think an inspiration to hopefully all of us, and certainly to the incoming class. So please welcome Dr. Robin West.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. So good morning, faculty, staff, guests, and most importantly, our incoming class of medical students. I'm humbled and honored to be here at the request of Hilda Fu, the wife of the late Dr. Freddie Fu. Unfortunately, most of you have not had the opportunity to meet Dr. Fu, the remarkable orthopedic surgeon and philanthropist who spent his entire career here at the University of Pittsburgh, inspiring so many people with his unparalleled vision, his energy, his passion, and his love of Pittsburgh and the university. I was Dr. Fu's orthopedic sports medicine fellow back in 2002. The following year, he hired me to be his partner, where I served as an associate professor and team physician at the University of Pittsburgh. And then I was also the team physician for Carnegie Mellon University and the Pittsburgh Steelers. After spending 12 years here in Pittsburgh, I was recruited to Inova Health System in Northern Virginia in 2014 to build their sports medicine program, as well as their service line, orthopedic service line across all 5 hospitals. I'm thrilled to still have the opportunity to be involved in medical education as an associate professor at Georgetown University, Walter Reed, and the University of Virginia, where I get to teach medical students, residents, and fellows. Dr. Fu taught me so much, not just about medicine and surgery, but about life, culture, and people. He always believed in seizing every opportunity. His zest for life was infectious. I try every day to live like him, with purpose, passion, and commitment. When I was first asked to speak at this white coat ceremony, I started to think about my first few days of medical school back in 1993, and I was unable to recall my own formal white coat ceremony. But I did remember taking the Hippocratic Oath at my commencement when I graduated from medical school, not at the beginning of medical school. So I was wondering, what's changed? When did these ceremonies begin, and when is the oath typically given? I started to research the history of the white coat ceremonies and the Hippocratic Oath. These ceremonies were created at Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons in 1993 by Dr. Arnold Gold, who was a pediatric neurologist, and did not really become universal until several years after that. Prior to the implementation of the white coat ceremony, medical students used to receive the Hippocratic Oath for the first time at commencement and not at the beginning of medical school. These white coat ceremonies marked a change in tradition, introducing students to the oath before first year medical school. The change was intended to provide students with well-defined guidelines regarding the expectations and the responsibilities of the incoming medical students prior to their first day. The white coat ceremony has now extended across all schools of medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, osteopathic medicine, and nursing worldwide. The white coat ceremony is a rite of passage and is symbolic and a constant reminder of our professional duties to our patients and to our communities. In 2018, the white coat ceremony here at the University of Pittsburgh transformed from the traditional ceremony that was held at the medical school to a more visionary ceremony held here at Carnegie Music Hall. The renewed white coat ceremony showcases the city of Pittsburgh and immerses the incoming students in its cultural surroundings with live fine art performances. The idea of combining a traditional white coat ceremony with culture and community engagement originated with Dr. Fu and Hilda. It was with their generosity, along with the support of UPMC and the Medical Schools Alumni Association, that has led to this enlightened program. Even though I did not have a white coat ceremony myself, I remember my first day of medical school like it was yesterday. There was so much vitality as I walked through the courtyard and into the front door. There were all these young minds thirsty for knowledge. It was so exhilarating. We were all eager to embark on this unknown journey to reach this pinnacle that many of us had dreamed about since we were young children. Yet other students in my class had not necessarily dreamt their whole lives about being a physician. Some had decided to go to medical school years after graduating from college, and others had initially chosen different professions altogether, and then pivoted when they realized it was their passion to be a physician. We had such a diverse group of students made up of recent college grads, nurses, mothers, scientists, engineers, fathers, English majors, and former teachers, and this list goes on and on. Some of us came to medical school knowing exactly what we wanted to be: a surgeon, an internist, a pediatrician, and others had no idea. Yet we all had one common bond. We all wanted to help people and make an impact on their lives. The practice of medicine has dramatically changed since I graduated. Between the electronic medical records, the growth of the internet and digital health, the shift towards virtual medicine, and the tremendous advancements in science, medications, and surgical implants, my practice has markedly evolved. These innovations certainly keep us practicing physicians from getting stagnant. We always have to be at the top of our game, learning not only science and medicine, but continuing to be relevant and efficient with the explosion of technology. The practice of medicine will look a lot different for you in 25 years too. We will continue to have rapid advancements in science that you will have to learn and utilize to offer your patients top-tiered care. With innovations in artificial intelligence, wearables, and genetic testing, you'll have limitless data at your fingertips to help you treat your patients. But the practice of medicine always comes back to the basic foundations: anatomy, biology, chemistry, physiology, physics, empathy, and the human touch. And nothing can replace the human touch. You are privileged to become a physician and to have the capacity to take care of people through sickness and in health. It is your passion, your compassion, and your gentle touch that will often be the best medicine. In addition to being a science, medicine is also an art. The art is embodied in the relationships that you establish with your patients. We are part of a tremendously diverse and global society, and you will encounter patients from a wide variety of cultural, geographic, social, and economic backgrounds that will impact their health and their ability to care for them. Faced with patients with essentially untreatable end-stage fatal disease, you may have little to offer but your emotional support and your empathy. As a modern Hippocratic Oath states, I will remember there is an art to medicine as well as science, and that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. Mental health is a worldwide problem, and awareness has led to more acceptance, but we continue to lack the resources necessary to help everyone. In 2020, the CDC reported that 25% of young adults ages 18 to 24 contemplated suicide during the pandemic. And during the Mental Health Awareness Month in May of this year, the US Surgeon General, Dr. Murthy, sounded an alarm on healthcare worker burnout and resignation. There is a projected shortage of over 3 million essential low-wage healthcare workers over the next 5 years, and a shortage of over nearly 140,000 physicians over the next 10 years. Even before the pandemic, healthcare workers were experiencing startling levels of burnout, broadly defined as a state of emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and a low sense of personal accomplishment at work. In 2019, the National Academies of Medicine reported that burnout had reached crisis levels, with up to 54% of nurses and physicians and up to 60% of medical students and residents suffering from burnout. The pandemic has caused an exponential increase in burnout rates. So what can you do to save this profession? First of all, we need to recognize that there is an issue. We need to empower our colleagues to seek the help that they need. We need to stand together to combat bias, racism, discrimination, and harassment. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself or for others. Don't tolerate this kind of behavior. We need to prioritize social connections to mitigate the feelings of loneliness. Reach out to your colleagues and to your coworkers to see how they're doing. Throughout your training and career, there will be countless times that you'll have these same feelings of isolation, as you'll have many, many sleepless nights studying or staying up taking care of your patients or worrying about them. You need to take care of yourself and of each other. And if you don't, then not only you, but your patients will suffer. As you embark on this journey, I want to share 10 simple things that I've learned along the way. Number 1, master the physical exam and the art of listening. With all this technology, we can often lose sight of what we're trained to do, to listen and to examine our patients. We can easily get wrapped up in the computer, the data, and the documentation. But sit down and take a few minutes and let your patients talk to you. So often I hear from my patients that their prior physician never examined them and never listened to them. Studies also show that physicians usually interrupt their patient within the first 12 seconds of the patient talking. But patients will usually tell you their diagnosis if you just listen to their symptoms. In 1976, Dr. Warner Slack from Harvard Medical School wrote, "The largest and least utilized healthcare resource is a patient, him or herself." Number 2, step outside of your comfort zone. Try new things, take chances. Volunteer to take that extra trauma call, put in that central line, voice your opinions, ask questions. All the magic happens outside of our comfort zones. This is where you'll learn and grow the most. Try to take advantage of every opportunity. Number 3, teamsmanship. It truly takes a village to take care of your patients, and you're an integral part of the team, but certainly not the most important. Be humble and work closely with the other team members to provide the most comprehensive and exceptional care to your patients. Respect your coworkers. As you start your clinical rotations, remember that the experienced nurses can often be your best friends. They often know more than anyone else on the floor. I remember being a surgical intern. I was only 3 months after graduating from medical school, and I was on the pediatric surgery service. I got called at 3 a.m. to the pediatric cardiac ICU to do an open cardiac massage on a baby who was crashing after surgery. My call room was only 2 doors down the hall, so I was the first one on the medical team to arrive. And needless to say, I was very anxious. I looked right over at the ICU nurse and I asked her what to do. She told me to pop the sternal staples to expose the baby's heart and guided me through this process. And luckily, just as I was about to start this cardiac massage, our chief resident arrived. And boy, was I relieved. It was at that moment that I realized how invaluable these nurses are. Rely on them and rely on the other members of your team. They often will know a lot more than you. Number 4, integrity. Integrity is a quality of having high moral standards and being honest. It is choosing your actions based on values rather than personal gain. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one's watching. Do not compromise. Speak up if you see something incorrect or fraudulent. Honest mistakes can happen anywhere, even when treating patients, and you can save someone's life just by speaking up. Remember that it is our honor to serve our patients. Always do what you think is right. Number 5, find your passion. As Simon Sinek asserts, what is your why? Find it. Stay energized and love what you do. Have fun, as every day is a gift. Working hard for something that we don't care about is called stress, but working hard for something that we love is called passion. Number 5, have a thirst for knowledge. Your learning does not end after medical school, residency, or fellowship. Have a growth mindset. You'll continue to learn throughout your career, not only from your colleagues, but from patients and nurses, medical technicians, students, residents, and fellows. As Vince Lombardi says, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can achieve excellence. Number 7, donate your time, your skills, or your money by educating, providing care, or mentoring someone. At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or what you've accomplished. It's about what you have, or it's about who you have lifted up. It's about what you have given back. Number 8, build and maintain relationships. The relationships that you make throughout your medical school training will be long-lasting and valuable ones. The people that you meet along the way will be able to help and guide and support you. You never know, but one day you may be reaching back out to them for help when caring for a patient or making a tough, life-changing decision. Number 9, well-being. Self-care is something very hard for all of us to do. As I've gotten more mature and experienced, I've learned the importance of wellness. It improves our physical health, decreases stress and anxiety, boosts our self-esteem, protects our mental health, and can lead to stronger relationships. So be sure to set aside some time each day for a few minutes to focus on self-care, which comes in many forms: physical, personal, quiet time, social, or spiritual. In the end, well-being starts with gratitude, so cultivate gratitude every day. And number 10, and the most important, don't forget your family or your friends. They've been there for you and will be there to support you in this journey. They have sacrificed for you and have encouraged you. It will sometimes be very easy to dismiss them or forget about them when you're exhausted and overwhelmed. But remember, it takes a village and they are part of your team. You're about to put on the white coat for the first time. So how did the white coat come to represent physicians? Physicians dressed themselves in black until the late 19th century. The black clothes were considered formal, but also they were somber, yet practical. At the beginning of the 20th century, when medicine was becoming more scientific with the advent of the antisepsis principles, the whiteness or the pureness of medicine became reflected in the white coats of physicians and the white dresses of nurses. Throughout the century, the physician's white coat provided its wearers with a mantle of authority and trustworthiness. The white coat is a symbol of caring, trust, and professionalism that you must earn from your patients. You will develop your professionalism through reflection, relationships, and resilience. The white coat can also be a godsend for the indecisive dresser, as very little thought needs to go in deciding what kind of clothes to wear. However, it can be complicated in the hospital with a variety of choices, as each article of clothing has its own symbolic meaning. The short coat, the long coat, no coat, tie, no tie, and scrubs. The politics of the iconic white coat runs deep in most institutions' hierarchy and tradition. The coat typically gets longer with seniority. Resistance to wearing the traditional white coat has mounted over the last 20 years. Although the white coat phenomenon, the experience of some patients having falsely elevated blood pressure when seen in a physician's office is a widely touted phenomenon, the evidence is actually quite poor. There is slightly better data, but nothing definitive to implicate the white coat as a potential source of infection. Some people see it as a symbol of power and hierarchy, and therefore have questioned the relevance of the white coat in relation to the humanistic delivery of healthcare. Despite the various beliefs around the white coat, it does carry a real symbolism with it. Your white coat is a constant reminder, as prescribed by Hippocrates, to lead honorable and righteous lives. While donning the white coat is a sign of a changed role, the white coat is a powerful symbol of transformation. It is a culmination of a lifetime of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. It represents your pledge to dedicate your life to the service of humanity with the highest degree of integrity, empathy, and respect. So wear your white coat with pride. In closing, I welcome each of you to this wonderful profession. There will always be controversy around the economics and the politics of healthcare. But the true profession of medicine, as symbolized by the white coat, is about the sanctity of the physician and patient relationship. Patients will be placing their well-being into your hands, and you must not violate their trust. You have the privilege of touching so many lives in so many ways, so be proud, but be humble. You're about to don your white coats for the first time. Your development as a physician is early in its course and is a lifelong process. You'll continue to learn from your patients and your colleagues. It is my honor to be with you today as you embark on this incredible journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. West, for those wonderful comments. I think there are a lot of take-home points there for our class of 26, as well as wonderful reminders for all the physicians in the room about this noble profession that we are a part of. I'd now like to invite our faculty coders, Dr. Ankur Doshi, Dr. David Mitro, Dr. Jack Smith, and Dr. Robin West to join us on stage. Before we begin the coding portion of the ceremony, I'd like to welcome Irene Cheng, Ali Lee, Andrew Wicksberg, and Christina Yoder, all members of the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra, who will be playing a selection from Mozart's Divertimento in D major. I had a moment of panic. Last year they came from the other side of the stage. Oh, and as they're setting up a correction, they're playing Bach's Brandenburg Concerto No. 3. Now I'd like to welcome our students to the stage to receive their white coats. As the students come up, I'd like them to hold in their minds Dr. Shaker's remarks about the significance of the white coat. As you put on your white coat, a symbol of your joining the profession of medicine and especially of joining the Pitt Med family, I want you to remember that there is a community of faculty, staff, and upper year students who will be stalwart supporters of yours throughout your careers. I will be reading the names 4 at a time, and I ask that applause be held until I pause between the groups. Samuel Adida, Felix Ago, Semi Ahmad, Rajan Alugar. Hamid Alamri. Please hold your applause. Maya Albanowski. Nicole Ellen Dogan. Nithya Anantharaman. Megan Arnold, Alyssa Bardi, Joseph Belfior, Lily Bissett. Morgan Bolger, Brianna Brooks, Sabrina Bruno, Emma Bryant. Julia Bulova, Sophia Bazanis, Michael Calcaterra, Ryan Kamashu. Sarah Tao, Luke Carlson, Isabel Corelli, Selena Chang. Annie Chen, Svia Cheng, Rutha Chivte, Allison Choi. Courtney Clark, Alicia Cole, Carlos Cosme, Onaje Cunningham. Nicholas D'Angelo, Madison DeYoung, Emma Denlinger, Sydney DeVore. Renata DiDonato, John Donahue, William Dissett, Catherine Dew. Alexandra Dubinsky, Pooja Dutta, Tonge Eno, Erica Fan. Gabriella Fisserai Garland, Haley Fitzgerald, Rochelle Fletcher, Fidelia Gaba. Emily Gaynor, Mira Garg, Salsabil Jihan, David Geng. Ryan Gilbert, Nicole Goldschmidt, Christian Gonzalez, Peyton Groves. Bethany Heilman, Henry Hoffman, Kevin Huynh, Francesca Ine. Nidhi Ayana, Sanathan Iyer, Alan Jacobson, Juliet Gerald. Mohammed Ali Jawad Maki, Tiffany Jung, Roshni Jaha, Awa Job. Ananya Kapoor, Caroline Karnash, Christopher Keenan, Faith Kehendi. Razeen Khan, Sharon Kim, Devin Cowdley, Sahana Krishna Kumaran. Shreya Kudaravali, Sol Labruna, Allison Lee, Danica Lee. Alessandra Long, Emily Levine, Ryan Lewis, Caroline Lindsay. Hillary Liu, Shirley Liu, Natasha Mayer, Madison McDougall. Brenna McCaig, Cynthia McMahon, Kunal Mehrotra, Leon Min. Kaylee Murday, Emily Neal, Isabel Neckerman, Tian Nguyen. Abigail Orsinelli, Sumarg Pandya, Elizabeth Parsons, Avni Patel. Revathi Pillai, Ian Pollack, Elena Puccio, Aman Raman. Ajinkya Rai, Akila Rao, Lauren Rebel, Pooja Reddy. Spencer Regelson, Nathaniel Rodriguez Ortiz, Thomas Rubino, Isabela Salas Allende. Dana Shar, Christopher Schumeyer, Christopher Schumacher, Karina Sclafani. Varusha Shah, Regan Shanahan, Naomi Shin, Joseph Shin. Thank you. Sidney Shockey, Claire Simmons, Anna Slingerland, Colton Smith. Cameron Soldozy, Kayla Stanley, Sarah Suchko, Tracy Swan. Samantha Syme, Michael Talamo, Anthony Tang, Lily Tang. Suchet Towery, Kwajo Tuku, Marissa Tramogli Barkowski, Alexandria Cho. Hannah Van Avery, Christian Vivar Ramon, Anna Vogel, Sean Wallace. Vivian Wong, Evan Washington, Jack Waters, Christina White. Victoria Wong, Victor Wright, Kaylee Wu, Morgan Winecoop. Shiva Yagobian, Samir Yelopragada, Amy Yu, Lauren Yu. And last but not least, Benjamin Zhu. Please join me in thanking our Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra String Quartet for their accompaniment. And please join me in thanking our coders and Dr. Shaker for being on stage with me to welcome the class of 26. Okay, my husband wants a selfie. Everybody smile. You can return to your seats. Or this way. And as my colleagues know, probably the most stressful job I have is reading names. So I want to thank each of the students who recorded their name for me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I did your due diligence justice. I'd like to invite Dr. Chenitz Pettigrew, our Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, to the podium. He will now tell you about our new tradition within the School of Medicine, the Oath of Professionalism.
Well, everybody said good morning already. I'm going to say good afternoon, as it has now transitioned. Let's give Dr. Gonzaga a round of applause for an excellent job of reading all of those names. And before I go on, I want to also acknowledge my partner in this process of oath writing, and that's Dr. Susan Templer, who's back there. You will see her often in the coming week. Today is a transformative moment when all of you will soon make a public declaration and commitment to become exceptional Pitt Med physicians. However, 2 weeks ago, we started on a path of critical analysis for this transformative moment. When you met in Zoom groups, in your bridge groups, as we call them, to discuss really what being a physician meant in the process of developing your class oath, which will be finalized this week and presented to Dr. Shaker at a formal ceremony on Friday. Today, will really further inform your work as you really work on this very important PittMed tradition. I, along with all of my colleagues, are looking forward to learning from you as you transform yourselves into exceptional PittMed physicians who will practice medicine with excellence, compassion, altruism, respect, curiosity, empathy, integrity, courage, truthfulness, fairness, and without bias. We expect that this process will go on, as does the white coat ceremony in honor of Dr. Fu. And we expect that your oath will get the same acclaim as the oath of the class of 2025 and the class of 2024. PittMed speaks with one voice and with one common purpose, and that is to heal, to advocate, to innovate, and to lead. When I say we are, you say PittMed, okay? Not everybody, those folks. We are. Wow. That's rather weak enthusiasm for folks that soon will be taking care of all of us in some way, shape, fashion, or form. I think that you should really give a little bit more energy to this very important moment. We are. Hail to PittMed.
While Dr. Fu's prolific research and practice focused on anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction, which is a type of knee surgery, he was a champion in other ways. He developed one of the most ethnically and gender diverse academic and clinical departments in our country. It gives me great pleasure to ask the class of 2026 and any physicians in attendance to rise as the late Dr. Fu, Distinguished Service Professor, the David Silver Professor, and Chair of the Department of Orthopedic Surgery, and proud alum of the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine class of 1977, leads us in a reading of the Hippocratic Oath one last time. The oath will be displayed on screen. I invite you all to read aloud.
Hello, I'm Freddie Fu, class of 77. Welcome all of you. Now you have the white coat. This is our time to recite the Hippocratic Oath all together. Are you ready? Three, 2, 1, go. I do solemnly swear by whatever each of us holds most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just generous to its members, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be the good of the sick to the utmost of my power, by holding myself far aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my arts solely for the cure for my patients, and will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, far less suggested it. that whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of my patients, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will invariably secret. These things do I swear. Let each of us bow the head in sign of acquiescence. And now, if I will be true to this, my oath may good, grandpack ever be mine. The opposite, if I shall prove myself forsworn. Congratulations, all of you. Welcome to Pitt Medical School.
I invite you all to be seated, please. In years past, Dr. Fu would share his tips for a successful career in medicine. Prior to his passing, he filmed a video called Thoughts for Young Doctors. Let's watch together.
Hello, this is Freddy Fu, Chair of Orthopedic Surgery. I have some thoughts for young doctors, 20 of them, and I think this may help all of you. And this is a bookmark you can get from the medical school. First, do what you love. Steve Jobs, one of the greatest visionaries of our time, once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do. You have not found it yet. Keep looking. Don't settle. Having a passion and enjoying what you do will ultimately pave the way to happiness and self-fulfillment." In the case of medicine, we should be passionate about teaching, research, and patient care. If you enjoy what you're doing, work will not feel like work. You've got friends. Over the next few years in medical school, you will develop lifelong friendship with your classmates and professors. No matter what you are, what you're doing, how you got there, there will be good times and bad times, high times and low times. Years from now, you will still look to your friends for support. Do the right thing. My mentor and former boss, Professor Albert P. Ferguson, was the chairman of the University of Pittsburgh Department of Orthopedic Surgery for 33 years. Always said, just do the right thing. Take good care of your patients, and they will take good care of you. It sounds like a simple concept, but yet in reality, this is not simple. Doing the right thing is a summation of everything you have learned throughout your life and training. Every decision you make should be for the betterment of the patients. Credibility and integrity. As a medical profession, you have already credibility in the public eye. Upholding this credibility requires you to maintain integrity and be free of conflict. This is not a simple task. You must first do no harm and give your best to the patient. Patient first. To quote Albert Einstein, only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. In the field of medicine, the patient should be first, second, and third. Home sweet home. Home is the most important base you will have. You will never replace your family. Remember all the birthdays, anniversaries, and school events. Spend time with them. That should always be a number one in your book.
That was a wonderful video, which I think really exemplifies or captures the wonderful mentor Dr. Fu was throughout his career here at Pitt Med. I'd now like to invite Dr. Jack Smith to join me on stage, where he will introduce a special pinning ceremony using the Freddie Fu lapel pin the students received. Dr. Jack Smith earned his bachelor's degree in biology in 1969 and a medical degree from Pitt in 1973, and did his general and orthopedic surgery training at UPMC from 1973 to 1978. His wife, Georgia, who is with us today as well, earned her bachelor's degree in sociology in 1970. Proud of his hometown, Jack has spent his entire career in Greensburg, first in private practice and later as chair of orthopedics at Excella Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Georgia worked alongside her husband and retired as treasurer from Jack's private practice. On campus, Jack served on the University of Pittsburgh Board of Trustees, chaired the School of Medicine Board of Visitors, and is a member of the Pitt Greensburg Advisory Council. He is past president of the Pitt Alumni Association, is on the Athletics Hall of Fame Committee, and was recently recognized as a Distinguished Alumni Fellow, which is the most prestigious alumni award conferred by the University of Pittsburgh. The Smiths are financial supporters of the university as well. They are members of the Babcock Society and the Health Discovery Leadership Circle, and created the Jack D. and Georgia M. Smith Endowed Athletic Scholarship to support varsity student athletes from Westmoreland County. In addition, they are supporters of the School of Medicine, Department of Orthopedics, and various other areas across the Oakland and Greensburg campuses. Jack works closely with the university's Department of Orthopedic Surgery, mentoring young physicians and hosting events such as gatherings and meetings of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. You just heard the late Dr. Fu speak about prioritizing your family, your patients, remembering to find your passion, and to never stop looking until you do. Dr. Smith learned these things from a lifetime relationship with Dr. Fu and continues to honor his legacy by staying involved and by doing what he loves to do, being an excellent clinician, mentoring students, and giving back. Today, he's going to lead you in this special pinning ceremony. Please welcome Dr. Jack Smith.
Thank you. That's a tough act to follow with Freddie with the bookmark. I was chief resident when Freddie came in as a junior resident, so my friendship with him goes back over 45 years. And we became involved with the department, hosting events, as was mentioned. But Freddie's been a lifelong friend, and Hilda, if you're listening in, our thoughts are with you. I'm going to suggest that now that you have a white coat, I'm going to give you your first job to solve a diagnosis. And this won't take but a moment, and that is white coat syndrome. For those of you who don't know, there is such a thing as white coat syndrome, and you'll see patients that become very anxious when a physician or a student physician walks into the room. And how to solve that was alluded to by Freddie in his remarks, with trying to be compassionate to the patient, trying to be concerned and show concern. And if you don't know an answer to a problem, don't be afraid to say, I don't know, but I'll find out for you as you move through this journey. I'm excited for you as you embark on this journey. It doesn't seem that long ago that I started my journey in medicine, and those things have held me in good stead over the years. Freddie mentioned Dr. Albert Ferguson, who was my mentor as well as his, and one of his things was always do the right thing. I remember being on his service on my last rotation as I was leaving, and at that time I was going into private practice, and I was agonizing, and he could tell that there was something wrong, and he called me Smitty. And he said, Smitty, he said, there's something bothering you, what is it? And I told him that I was agonizing over where to put my office. There were two spaces I was looking at, what to rent, and the advantages, disadvantages. It was all about parking, location, that type of thing. And he looked at me and he said, you're not selling ice cream. And I looked back and I said, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Actually, I have a little investment in an ice cream business in Florida now. So I am selling ice cream. But Freddie, or Ferg rather, excuse me, said, you know, if you take care of your patients, you make yourself available, you work hard, you show compassion, and all the other themes that you've heard here, everything else will take care of itself. It doesn't matter where you practice or how you do it, but if those things come through loud and clear to a patient, everything else will take care of itself. So that would be the message I would leave with you. The other thing would be to, and it was mentioned a couple times, find something that really appeals to you. I certainly never thought that I was going to be an orthopedic surgeon. I was interested in internal medicine, but I really, actually at the time in an intern year, figured out that I wanted to go into a surgical field, and orthopedics was it. So keep your eyes open. There's things that will appeal to you and you will be stimulated by, and never dreamed that that's where you would end up. So it's one of my pleasures now. I think each of you has been given a Freddie Fu pin with the FF on it. Freddie is team physician for all the Pitt sports teams. All the teams wear this pin or a emblem on their uniforms, sneakers, and so forth. And so if you would kindly put that onto your lapel at this point, in honor of my good friend, the benefactor of this wonderful ceremony, and in memory of a great person for the city of Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Pittsburgh Opera to the stage. Graham Fondry, accompanied by Ellen Rissinger, performing Largo el Factotum from The Barber of Seville.
That means for the ladies. Col cavaliere the dudes. Con la donetta, la 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 la, la 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 la. Col cavaliere, la 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 la. Che bel vivere, che bel piacere, che bel piacere per un barbiere di qualità, di qualità. Tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, donne e ragazzi, i vecchi fanciulle, qua la parrucca, presto la barba, qua la sanguigna, presto biglietto, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, tutti mi chiedono, tutti mi vogliono, qua la parrucca, questa la barba, questo biglietto, Figaro! Figaro! Is there a doctor in the house? Figaro! Figaro! Thank you. Figaro! 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 Oimè, che furia, oimè, che folla, uno alla volta, per carità, per carità, per carità, uno alla volta, uno alla volta, uno alla volta, per carità. E Figaro, son qua. Psst, e Figaro, son qua. Figaro là, Figaro qua, Figaro là, Figaro qua, Figaro su, Figaro giù, Figaro su, Figaro giù. Pronto prontissimo, son come i fulmini, soli fattotum nella città, nella città, nella città, nella città, nella città. Bravo Figaro, bravissimo, bravo Figaro, bravissimo, fortunatissimo, 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 non mancherà. La 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 la. A te fortuna, non mancherà. Sono il fattotum della città, sono il fattotum della città, della città. Della città.
Please join me in another round of applause for Mr. Fandry and Ms. Risinger for that entertaining performance. Before we depart, I'd like to thank Dr. and Mrs. Fu for this amazing ceremony. You can read more about their commitment to the university and the city of Pittsburgh in your program. I'd like us all to thank the staff of the Medical Alumni Association and my staff in the Office of Student Affairs for their hard work in making this day possible. Thank you to my colleagues who assisted with today's coding and to all our advisory deans who are in attendance today. We do have several upper year students who are here to show their support. You may meet them during the reception. Please thank them for being here. Immediately following the ceremony, we hope you'll join us in the foyer to mingle among your classmates. Each student is asked to take a goodie bag on your way out. It contains special welcome gifts from the Medical Alumni Association. Dr. Shaker has a few closing comments.
Thank you. Thank you. Stay. So thank you all. This has been a great morning and great couple of hours spending with all of you. First, I want to congratulate Alda for the wonderful performances as well as the whole ceremony that we conducted today. Being this is her only second year, she's doing pretty well, don't you think? I also want to recognize a few people that are here. Obviously, you heard from Dr. Jack Smith, our trustee, emeritus now, and Georgia, his wife. But I also want to recognize Beth Perino, who's our Associate Dean. Please, as your names I speak, please stand up. I know it's a little hard on you, Beth. Dr. Perino is the Associate Dean for Admissions, and she and her team are responsible for all of you being here. They screened roughly 9,000 applicants and chose you, 157 or so, as the best students that we wanted at Pitt. So it's a lot of hard work. The other person that you will also meet and should meet, I'm going to ask her to stand up, is our Vice Dean, Ann Thompson. And all of our deans. They're a wonderful group of associate deans and faculty who have taken their entire morning to come and be with us and celebrate you. So I would like all of them to stand up. Thank you for all that hard work you do. And then finally, from the development office, I'd like Alex and Mike LaFranchi, Alex Rigby, who really coordinate all of this activity. And of course, the Alumni Association, Dr. Metro and his colleagues have been wonderful supporters. So finally, I want to ask you all one question, and this is an important question. And then I'll acknowledge the person who makes me stand up here and do all the right things, my wife, Gina Late. Remember, I'm going to get a full critique of this whole thing when I get home. It's like, we didn't do that, we should have done that, or you should have said this, etc. So I always appreciate her support. But most important question I wanted to ask you, and this is because it's an important sort of moment for me. I recall this was like probably 5 days before Freddie passed away. He was moving to hospice, and I went to visit him for the last time. And he was very exhausted, very tired with all of the treatments. He could barely, sit up and talk to me. But the one thing that he asked me was, he looked in my eyes, very tired. He said, "Dean, promise me one thing, that you're going to do a great white coat ceremony." So I want you to tell me, did we do a great white coat ceremony? Thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Dean Shaker. All right, home stretch. Welcome to the Profession of Medicine class of 2026. Remember that your white coat is a symbol of you now being members of this most noble profession and of the Pitt Med family. Pitt Med makes outstanding physicians, and each of you will be no exception, but rather each of you will be exceptional. Remember, you have a ginormous cheering squad, a deep pool of coaches, and countless mentors waiting to work with you. And now, without further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to present the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine class of 2026. Our photographer is asking the class to stand up. Please look at our photographer for a quick class photo up here. All right. Dr. West will now lead the recessional, first with the platform party and then followed by the students. Guests, please wait until they have exited the room before leaving.